Happy Friday, everyone. Happy to have you with us for our webinar series on this Friday. We are talking about social media, one of those important things that you need to be doing right now. And we have a new face to Century 21, but we've seen her do a number of things, and she does a great job. She's also friends with David Greenspan. She knows Kathleen Black. So it's kind of strange that we haven't had her yet, but we're very happy to welcome Chelsea Peitz this morning. And Chelsea, I will turn it over to you because I know you've got a ton of information to squeeze into a short amount of time. Thanks for being with us.
Yes, thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. We're going to cover a lot of ground today. We're going to be specifically talking about Instagram stories, which is definitely a format that might be new to some of you. I am telling everybody, especially right now, we are needing to double down, triple down on the story. So coming to you to give you this information, we have a lot of content. So we may not be able to get to a live Q&A on your chats, but please feel free to drop those in the chat should you have any questions. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we are going to dive into it for today. All right, now let me know if you can't see my screen there, but I think y'all should be able to. Now, since we are talking about Instagram, one of the best places to reach me is the Gram. So if you have questions that we are not able to answer, please make sure that we are connected here on the Gram. I also drop weekly Instagram trainings there through my IGTV channel. I do lots of stories, so if you need good ideas or want to connect with me through the Instagram story, that is where you can find me. And then also, if you like to listen to podcasts, I have one of those. It's called The Voice of Social Sales. It was nominated for Inman Innovator of the Year last year. I deep dive with a lot of people, including David Greenspan, on how to use social media for real estate. And last but not least, if you are looking more of a workbook on how to get yourself set up and how to create content that's engaging and gets results, you can check out my book, my latest book on Amazon. It's #1 bestseller in 6 categories. So with no further ado, let's dive in. Just wanted to give you an overview of what the new format is for your social media feed. And this is across the board. As you can see in this photo here, we have a Facebook mobile feed. In the center, we have our Instagram mobile feed. And on the far right, we have a YouTube mobile feed. And what's interesting now about all of the social platforms is that they are now going to have 2 different dedicated feeds within each platform. We have the main feed, which we go up and down, and you probably put your live videos and your pictures and your posts. But we also have a stories feed, which is going to be across the top of pretty much all of your platforms. And as you can see here in Facebook, you've got those rectangular tiles that are going across there. We're going to be focusing primarily on Instagram stories, but I do want to mention for Facebook, if you have not joined the Facebook stories, if you haven't really been over there active, I recommend that you get started, because right now you have an opportunity where it's not saturated yet. And the great thing about Facebook is that the placement is so key. I can't even see any other post unless I scroll past those stories, and they're pretty darn big tiles. So you have the opportunity of free branding every single day if you are actively posting on your Facebook story, because likely your tile is going to show up at the top of all of the people that you're connected with, and they're going to have to go past your face and your name to get to the rest of their feed. So that's my little aside on Facebook stories. In the center is Instagram, and you can see those little circles across the top. Those are stories, and this one is YouTube. YouTube has stories now. So I just want to stress to you that what is being posted in the main feeds typically is not going to be the same as what you're posting in these stories. So now you have 2 separate feeds, 2 separate algorithms, 2 totally separate pieces of content. So I just wanted to stress that. I'm going to go through sort of what a story is, and I'm going to help you elevate your stories with some great tips. Just want to throw this out there for those of you who might be using LinkedIn, which I hope you are, because it's an excellent platform with great reach. On February 26th, earlier this year, they announced they're going to be trying out stories. So this format is not going away. It's only getting better. In my personal opinion, I feel it is the future of social media. I can see a world where we might not even have the traditional feeds that we're used to, and it's just video format and stories. This is busy, so I did you a favor and put 2 red arrows on here, because that's the only thing I really want you to look at, okay? This is a really great chart, and this might be something you all might want to share in your own social media because it's so interesting. And it's from domo.com. And this chart shows you what happens on the internet in social media in 1 minute every single day. Now, the very top arrow is how many people are posting and creating Instagram stories. So I'm going to round this up because it's 277,777. Let's just say 280,000. There's about 280,000 Instagram stories being posted every minute. Okay, let that sink in. That's a crazy amount of content. Now, if you look at the bottom arrow, as opposed to or compared to 55,000 posts in the feed. Big difference, okay? Facebook will get there. They announced last year their main focus for this year and beyond is Facebook stories and Facebook groups, okay? And we're going to talk about why the shift is happening. All right, this is how I look at these feeds now, these two separate feeds. I look at the main feed as how we kind of go wide. We cast our net, we post our content, it lives on forever. People can go back and rewatch a Facebook Live video. So that's kind of the going wide. That's sort of the wide brand building net. Then we use stories, whether it's on any platform, to be really human and relatable and have our own reality TV show where people can stay connected. And what I will tell you is that during the time that I have been in my house sheltering in place for almost 36 days, I am so grateful for stories because it's the most human form of content we can make. And I have a sense of normalcy because I've still been able to communicate and feel like I'm a part of the lives of the friends and family that are all over the globe that are using these stories. So the feed goes wide, the stories are for relatable and personal, and the direct messages or DMs here are where you go deep. That's where you create the relationships. Now, we're not going to talk too much about direct messaging strategies today, but really this is where you should be spending the majority of your time because this is where you have these private one-to-one conversations. The beauty of a direct message is that you don't need a phone number, you don't need an email. If you are talking to people through their Instagram story and messaging them, that's also considered a direct message. And the beautiful part of a story is you never have to wonder what to talk about. You never have to feel like, gosh, I haven't been in contact with this person in a few months. I feel kind of weird just sending them a text out of the blue. When you watch someone's story and they talk about whatever it is they may be talking about, they give you the idea or the topic. And if their message is open, they want you to talk to them. So it's not weird or awkward when you say, oh my gosh, yeah, I've been on 7 Zoom meetings today too, if that's what they might be talking about. So that's how I look at the different components of the social networks now. Now, why is stories such a big deal? Okay. My first book that I wrote was all about stories and all about the psychological relationship between our brains and faces and how our brains have no idea that I'm not in front of you right now. So as you're watching me right now, your brain neurons are firing around my face because it's doing facial recognition, which by the way, we have 2 parts of our brain dedicated only to recognizing faces. And what happens without us even knowing it is that we are feeling like we have a true human interaction and we start to sort of have a familiarity and a trust. And so that's what I mean by camera first. This all started back in the Snapchat days. And now we had Instagram that stole stories and all of that. Facebook has it, everyone has it. And it took off because it was very real and human. And the reason that it's real and human is because a lot of the times you're showing your face because it's your own reality show and you're talking to your camera as if you're talking to a real person. So for all of those who are watching and listening and you've been afraid to show your face, it's really now time that we have to do that because people are so inundated with watching people's faces that they're going to be expecting to see yours. And if they don't, and you don't maybe have an active story, they might actually go with somebody else that does, believe it or not. And it's a great way to build what's called a parasocial relationship. It basically means sort of like the celebrity effect. And a great friend of mine, Grant Wise, and I were talking about this. And it's really that feeling of watching someone on TV or a movie screen and you see all their movies and you kind of like them. Like, like for example, The Rock, a lot of people love him. I'm a fan. And I just sort of have that I like him feeling, like I like his work. I feel like maybe I like his personality. Maybe he's a nice guy. I don't know if he is. but that's how we have this celebrity type feeling. So I want you to imagine that if somebody were to get a referral from you or find your Instagram account and look at your active stories and they make an appointment with you, whether it's through Zoom now or when we can go back to meeting in person, guess what? If they can stalk you, they will, just because we all can, right? And if they start watching your stories and you're showing up there and you're talking about your day and your life, and they start to have that celebrity feeling like they sort of already know and like you. So what do you think will happen when you sit across from them and talk about how you can help them list their property or help them buy whatever it might be? They've already decided that they like you, right? It does the selling for you. So it's camera first, really important. You need to show your face. In 2020, your face is your brand. Nike pays people millions of dollars to borrow their face because they know how important it is. The second thing that's really important is it's real time. A lot of people ask me, why would I make content that's going to disappear? Attention. Because people know if they don't tune in, they're going to miss what you talked about. And we start to get in this rhythm of watching these reality shows on our stories, and we want to see that, right? We want to see what's going on. We're curious. We just want to see what's going on in your day today. And so it is real time. It's going to disappear in 24 hours. So that's more about being invited or feeling like you're part of somebody's daily story, but also attention, which is really important, because I know I can come back and rewatch a YouTube video, but I'm going to miss somebody's story if I don't check in. Lastly, most importantly, is it's private message enabled, which means you're going to have really in-depth conversations with some people. Now, let me paint this picture. Let's say you do a Facebook Live, which definitely we should be doing, right? It's a great way to get reach. I get some comments on that Facebook Live, okay? Those are public comments. So if I'm going through maybe a difficult time or something personal, I'm not likely to sort of get into a conversation with somebody in that public comment forum. But if I commented on someone's story that was saying, gosh, I don't know about you guys, but this week has just been off for me. And I commented, and it's private one-to-one. I said, I know what you mean, man. We've been at each other. The homeschooling hasn't been going well. It's just been a hot mess over here. You're going to probably get into that more human relatable conversation happening in there. When you are using direct messages, it's also training your algorithm, especially on Instagram. Instagram is heavily weighting direct messages, meaning if you are a good community member, you are somebody who's talking to a lot of people because you're using the platform as they want you to, and you're getting people to come back into it by messaging them. So they like that, which means your content likely goes a little bit farther. The other piece of it is that the more people I talk to through direct message, the more often they're going to see my content first and vice versa. So it's a great way to brand. 1 out of 5 Instagram stories is resulting in a direct message. That means a conversation. I actually think it's 2 out of 5 because this is about 2 years old. So this is such an important stat, and I just want to take a second to talk about it, because what else are you doing right now where somebody's actually proactively reaching out and talking to you? It's very, very, very powerful. So what exactly is a story? If you're not too familiar with what a story is, maybe this is your first time hearing about it, I'm going to give you a little overview. I kind of look at it like those flip books we made when we were a kid. Maybe you sort of like drew on the bottom corner, flip the page, drew another one, and if you flip it, it kind of gives the whole little movie there, the flip book. That's kind of what a story is. It's a separate feed, like we talked about, separate content than what you're putting in the main feed. And it's a combination of photos and very short videos. And it's micro content, which we love right now because we don't have an attention span. So I may not want to watch a 10-minute Facebook Live, but I might want to tap through very quickly some micro content in a story. It also disappears after 24 hours. So here's kind of what an example might look like. I have a combination of both still photos and some videos where I'm talking to my community in there. But I also like to almost think of it like little chapters of a book that you're going to write every single day. You have these little chapters, maybe one's a video, one's a photo, one's a video, one's a photo. And it's just kind of stringing together these frames, these individual photos and videos to make your whole story of your day in 24 hours. So essentially that's what it is. So why are we doing it? Well, number one, I just talked about micro content. It's tappable, right? We love that because we can consume a lot of it. And if you love to post content, this is for you because you can post your face off if you want. If you posted 5 times a day in my Facebook feed or my Instagram feed, I would not want to follow you anymore because it would be too much of me seeing you. but not in stories. It's visual and it's vertical and it's full screen, right? There's no other interruptions. There's nothing above it or below it in the feed. People are paying attention, and sound is optional. They can watch it with or without sound. We're going to talk about that tip in a minute. We already talked about CRM. There are no vanity metrics, which is awesome, right? There's no likes. You don't know if people shared it, commented, liked it. It makes it a very relaxing experience, right? Some people get really revved up about, gosh, this really didn't get a lot of engagement, right? Doesn't matter. This is about you. It's very freeing, so that feels really good. They have placed these stories in a very purposeful placement because they want people to know that they're there and to start using them. So you have to kind of see that before you move into the other feeds, which is some free branding. It's very engagement focused. If you are posting a story that's open to the public, you expect people to talk to you. So it's really more focused on engagement than the actual content in many cases. So you have an opportunity for all of these reasons here. It's not saturated yet. It's getting that way in Instagram, but you still have plenty of time to get in there. Facebook, for sure, you have opportunity. Ads are a challenge, which is great for users because it's a better user experience. I don't have to stop and watch ads. I don't have to, go through them and be forced to watch the first 4 seconds or whatever it may be. It will get more, honed in. So right now it's kind of a nice experience. Organic reach is still possible, and you can see who's watching. I use stalking as a friendly term, by the way. And this is really important because if I do a Facebook Live or I make an Instagram post, I have no idea who saw it. I can check my reach and impressions, but I don't have any idea who those people are unless they like or comment or share, right? But on a story, you can see every set of eyeballs that actually watched it, which is kind of great because then what you can do, you can repay the favor and go watch their stuff. You can see if you have that prospect who never emails you back, never picks up their voicemail, maybe they're watching, okay? So really, really cool that you can see everybody who's watching. We talked about private direct messaging, and the last two, you're either gonna love me or you're gonna hate me. I don't know, but what I tell people is the beauty of it is you can't totally outsource it. And I know that we have a lot of incredible teams that have an amazing marketing person on staff that's helping them create their social media content. Perfectly fine, nothing wrong with that. What people expect now is to see your face and your personal brand. So it's a little bit harder to outsource your face and personal brand and rely on just, other types of social media postings. In my opinion, that's a good thing because the more you can show your face, the more human connection you can achieve. And also, on the last here, behavior training. If we get so used to seeing stories and we see all these people's faces all the time and I don't see yours, I might wonder why, or just go on to the next person. All right, let's talk about the nitty-gritty of how to do some strategy with your stories, okay? I'm gonna assume that you've made a story. I'm not actually gonna walk you through that, but I'm going to show you some of the ways that you can elevate your stories and leverage some of the items within it. So the first thing that I like to talk about is the sticker menu in the stories, okay? There is a strategy to using some of those stickers to help you get more reach, views, profile visits, etc. So first things first, what does the sticker menu look like and where is it? It's this arrow right here where I'm pointing up to this icon. It looks like a square with a smiley face. You have to take a photo or shoot a video before that will show up. So if you're looking at your camera and you've got it open and you haven't taken a photo or something like that, it's not gonna show up. So that's why you first gotta take the photo or the video, then you're gonna look for that little icon. What happens after that is it's gonna bring you to a menu that looks something like this. And the first row is very important, okay? So that's your location stickers, your mention stickers, your hashtag stickers. Now, I'm not suggesting that you have to use these in every single story frame you make, but it is a good practice to start, really thinking about using these more often. As a real estate professional, especially since we're not really leaving, a certain area right now, you can be tagging your stories with the location of the areas that you're serving. I'm in Arizona, and we have a really big county where it could take you an hour to get from one city to another. So I might actually be selling houses in that city that's 45 45 minutes away, but I don't live there. So a great thing to do is tag that location, because then people who are looking for that location, your story can be found while it's still active. So definitely recommend tagging, the occasional story with a location sticker. This @mention sticker is a great way to shout people out, or to, connect with them and let people know, hey, I was talking to so-and-so, or I highly recommend you go and check out this book or this podcast. You can tag them. That's how I would use that. And then the hashtag sticker. Now, I know we're not talking about Instagram feed posts today. We're talking about stories specifically. Hashtags are life in Instagram. Instagram's algorithm works and sorts through all the content by locations and by hashtags. And so it's important that you are using both of them, especially in your feed posts. And one thing that I'm going to talk about with hashtags is we have to think about hashtags our customers are looking for, not that describe our industry. A lot of people in our industry are using like hashtag realtor, hashtag real estate, etc. But I recommend doing hashtags that have to do with design, decor, location-specific hashtags. So I might use, since I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona, Scottsdale Life, Scottsdale Homes, something like that, because that type of consumer is probably looking for those and not really looking for realtors. So just think about that. All right, now if you look down a little bit farther on this picture, you're going to see poll, questions, countdown, a couple of other things. I call those engagement stickers. Definitely start using those. Instagram is watching. They are. They're saying, oh, she used the poll sticker, or he used the question sticker. They're doing what we want them to do with the platform, and you are increasing engagement, which is a really easy way to double your engagement sometimes, because sometimes people don't want to type in a whole message. They might just want to tap a post and give you their feedback. And the cool thing is you can see everybody who is engaged with any of these stickers, which is awesome. So I'm going to take the next few slides and kind of show you what these look like. So definitely recommend that. So location stickers, here's what one looks like. You can tag a location. What happens is now Instagram goes through all of Instagram stories, and whatever this location is, they might take your story and place it in a larger group story of all kinds of people all over the world that are using that tag. And if I search New York City and I go to the story, I can see your story and a bunch of other people's. And when I see your story, if I like what's on it, I can go to your account. I can follow your account, which is pretty darn awesome. So when that happens, you get a little notification. It'll tell you, hey, this particular story has been added either to this location or this hashtag. You'll be able to see that there's a spike in views. So if you normally get 10 views a story or something like that, and you're using a hashtag or a location sticker, and you see that one particular story jump up to 100 or 1,000, that's why, because Instagram has added you to this larger group story. Now, if you don't want it to be added, which I don't know why you wouldn't, because it gives you more exposure, you can actually decide to remove it. It will give you that option. So just wanted to let you know there. This is what it looks like to add hashtags. I just say one, I call it the pretty hashtag sticker. It's this one right here. You only get to do one of those per story, okay? Don't go crazy. Don't have to worry about doing a hashtag in every single story, but just, think about incorporating those throughout your day. Here's a picture of one of the poll options. You can use emojis to kind of, give them a this or that type of option, or if you prefer, you can use text. But this is what a little poll sticker looks like. And again, when anybody clicks it, you'll be able to see on your analytics who actually voted for what. This is the question sticker. I love this sticker. It's one of my favorite stickers, and I'm going to show you why in just a moment. You can use it for so many things. And you might say, well, why would I use a sticker? Why wouldn't I just ask them and have them message me? The reason you want to use a sticker is because you can then share their responses to a future story, and it anonymizes it. So if my friend Sarah sends me, an answer or feedback, I can share her answer, but it won't say her name. So it helps you create future content, which is pretty darn awesome. So you can, have your question right here, and it could be like favorite restaurant, what song should I listen to? What I don't recommend is ask me anything. I've seen some people do that, and what happens is our brain's like, oh, now I got to think of something creative to ask them. So make it specific. When you ask for help or recommendations, oh, people want to talk. They want to give you their opinion and their help and their recommendations. So try it. Ask what Netflix show you should watch this weekend. See all of those responses, coming in, right? Now, here's why I like it. Here's my sticker. When I get responses, I can swipe up on that story where I place that sticker and I get to see everybody's responses. In fact, I have this down here. Sometimes when I ask people what kind of content they want me to make, I use one of these and then I screenshot all the answers, and this is what I do. I put them on an old school piece of paper, print them out. So that's how I get a lot of my feedback on what people want me to post. So you can see all of the different responses, and then right here, you can share it out onto a future post. So I love that. I also want to talk a little bit about Instagram Live while we're here, because a lot of us are doing live home tours or virtual home tours. You access the live option from the Stories camera itself. So when you open up your Stories camera, you'll see this menu that you can scroll through left to right. If you scroll all the way to the end, you'll be able to go live. It's a bit different than Facebook Live. There's no description that you're going to put up. It's not going to last forever or post to your grid like Facebook will. It's truly live, okay? And you're going to go live, and you can invite people to go live with you. You can do all sorts of things with it. So it's actually a really fun. You'll probably get more live viewers on Instagram than you will while you're doing your Facebook Live. But what you can do again with these question stickers, which is really cool, is you can have people ask you questions before the live or during the live, and you can call up visually their questions and put them on your screen. And again, they're all anonymous. So right here, this person has said, what's best quick makeup trick? She was able to post that on the actual screen. So it's really fun. So I would highly recommend you give it a try. I know it can sound intimidating, but they actually make it really easy for you to call those stickers up. You can invite a friend to go live with you. If you've never done that, all you have to do is go live and make sure you've talked to the person that you want to have join you beforehand. And all they do is they need to start watching the live stream. And then when they're watching, anyone who's watching will get this little button that says, would request to go live with Chelsea, or whoever is live. And you click it, and then the person who's hosting the live sees that notification. They can say, yep, we'd like to have you go live, and then you have a split screen. So it's a great way to do interviews, especially when we're in different places. And then last but not least on this little live tangent that I'm on, a really good friend of mine, Sue Pinky Benson in Naples, Florida. She's been doing virtual home tours and virtual open houses using Instagram Live, and she's not even in the house. So how is she doing that? Well, you can actually pull up pictures from your camera roll while you're live. So she's getting sellers to send her pictures of different areas of their house, and she's saving them on her camera roll, and then she'll go live on Instagram and say, I just want to talk about this incredible home on the water in Naples, and I've got some great pictures. I want to give you a virtual tour while we're live. And she calls up these photos, and like in this right-hand image, this background becomes the photo, but it still has her little video going up here. So I thought that was super creative. So that's all I have about live. All right, back to some of the stickers. If you're going to do one of those Instagram lives, you might want to do a countdown sticker. And a countdown sticker is great because it basically allows people to sign up for notifications. So when you put this sticker on there, it might say, in 2 days, I'm going to do a virtual open house extravaganza, okay? If I click on it, as a viewer, I can say, yes, I want you to remind me that when Chelsea goes live in 2 days to join in. So that's kind of a fun thing to do if you are going to do some Instagram lives, or when we get back to where we're kind of in the normal environment of, open houses and all of that, then we can use that for in-person events as well. Obviously now we're in a little bit of a different world. I just wanted to give you some new stickers that have popped up and that are really great to be using. They've had some stickers that you might have seen in your Instagram stories that are related to where we're at right now, and just really being able to create more of a community environment. There's the Thanks to Health Heroes, which is a great sticker to use, and a brand new one that just launched last week. This is called the Thank You Hour sticker. And the Thank You Hour sticker was designed and intended to show your gratitude for anyone in your community. And so you might do a quick video saying, hey, shout out to so-and-so, just wanted to say thank you for whatever. You don't have to do a video. You can just apply the sticker to anything. And then at 7:00 p.m. on wherever your time zone is, there's going to be a group story of all the people that you follow and everything that they have tagged what they're grateful for. So I think it's kind of a really cool, positive thing. I've really enjoyed it, and it's nice to see what other people are shouting out. So that's a brand new sticker that is available in your menu as well. Okay, moving on. We're going to talk about what if you just don't know what to post? What if you're just frozen and you're like, I don't know what content to do? The nice thing is Instagram actually gives you some ideas that you can use that are really fun. Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to look at that menu again, like when you open your camera. Remember how I said you could go to the live by scrolling left and right? Well, there's where this blue arrow is. If you scroll, you'll find the create mode. Lots of fun stuff in the create mode. And one of the things that I love is there is a section in the create mode when you're scanning. So look at these little circles down here. You can go left and right, and you can scroll into these different areas. You want to look for templates. It's called templates. You'll see it right here. It's like little squares, and then below it will say templates. So first you need to open your camera. You're going to navigate to create mode. Then something like this will open, and then you're going to navigate to templates. And they give you these great little stories that you can post. You can either use it for just ideas and make your own story, or you can actually use these exact templates and post them to your story, obviously filled in with your answers. So I think it's a really great way to get started, or to start some conversation, or to get some new ideas to post into your Instagram story. Okay, another thing that I would love everybody to start doing more is adding some more calls to action in text. We're gonna get this in my pro tip slide here in just a moment, but you have to tell people what to do. You do. If you want them to engage with you and answer a question, it's important to tell people, message me, let me know, ask a question. I always ask people questions and put it in text. So I might be talking about my new favorite snack, and I'll say, have you ever tried this before? Let me know. If you don't tell people with a call to action, they may or may not engage. So definitely think about layering some more text calls to action on those stories as well. Now let's talk about sharing content, because I see a lot of people sharing feed content into their story, which I definitely recommend. And here's why. That slide at the top of the hour where we talked about 280,000 stories being made every minute versus 55,000 posts, it tells me there's more people going to stories than the feed now. I know I do. And so what happens is, if I'm spending all my social media time in the stories, and then I, get tired or bored or whatever, have to move on to another topic or project, I might put my phone down. I may not even go to the feed. So I might be missing your content if you're only posting in the feed. So when you have a post that you want to make sure gets more potential visibility and comments, etc., you can actually share your own feed post, or anyone else's feed post for that matter, to your story. And so the way you do that, very easy, either go to your own post, or let's pretend in this case, I wanted to share my friend's, post right here from Massachusetts. All I need to do is go to a post where that red arrow is. You're going to see that little paper airplane icon thingy, and you're going to click it. And when you click it, this is going to open up, and you're going to be able to see add post to your story. I'm going to click that, and when I do, this is what we get. It automatically places that post in your story. It tags the person, so they'll get a notification that you shared their post, which is always a great thing. Now I'm going to take it one step further. There is no caption here. I only see the photo. And if I'm only seeing a photo and it's people, right? People's faces, it's not like a quote or something I can read. Why would I click on it to go and comment? Okay, I wouldn't, because it's just a photo. So what you want to do is you want to tap your little text tool up here, this little big A and small a, and you want to write why they should go check out that post. And it's not even enough to do, you've seen maybe the new post sticker covering up. People are lazy. They don't want to actually click on anything. tell them why they need to go check it out, okay? So that's an important pro tip there. If you're doing IGTV, which you all should be doing because Instagram is giving so much reach and love to IGTV videos. These are longer form videos, usually a couple minutes long, that you're posting and uploading to IGTV, which is basically YouTube for Instagram. So when you are posting those videos, another good idea, just for the same reasons, because people may miss it in the feed, you want to share that to your story and let people know why they need to go watch it and comment. So all you have to do is upload your Instagram TV post, go make a story, and you can actually tap the little link icon. Looks like this, like a chain link. It'll be up there. Tap on it, and it's going to give you this option to add your IGTV video, which is really cool. And then once you tap it, it's going to say, great, select which video you'd like us to connect. And when you are done and you post it, it's going to have a little visual swipe up at the bottom. You won't be able to see it as the poster, but as me, the visitor, I see that call to action that says swipe up. But I always recommend putting a little like GIF that says swipe up, just so you have a little bit more visual call to action. So best practice is definitely sharing that IGTV video to your story as well. Some of you love the GIFs. You may or may not know you can actually create your own GIFs, and you can either copy and paste them into your own stories, which I actually did just yesterday. Or if you're willing to go through the whole process and have patience, you can actually get your GIFs for your company into Instagram's GIF menu. Okay, so there's two ways of doing it. Again, you copy and paste it. That means it's not going to be found by anyone else. It's not in the menu. Or if you have the patience to go through the whole process and go to giphy.com, which is right here, this website. Go to giphy.com. You have to set up a business account for free. And you have to have a website, a business website, usually for your brokerage, and you have to create the GIFs, upload them there, and then go through like an approval process. It takes a long time, and I've heard they're not very good at customer service, but I just wanted to show you, this is a local brokerage here, and these are all animated, obviously not here because it's just a picture, but anyone can search for and use those GIFs in their Instagram stories, okay? So that's one process, but for me, I just made the GIF of myself and I saved it in my camera roll, and I just copy it and then I paste it into my story. So that's how I'm doing it, but nobody else can find it or use it. So just as a quick little tip there. And if you wanna make your own GIF, here's where I went, easygif.com, totally free. And you just upload whatever video you have and you click video to GIF and it GIFs it, which is awesome, right? So that's really fun. Also, if you want to know how to add an image to your story, so right here, I have a picture of a book that I just got, and people ask me all the time, how do you add an image to your story? Same process for GIFs or images. Once I have this picture I've taken, I save it in my camera roll. I'm gonna go to my camera roll and I'm gonna copy it. So I press and hold, at least on my iPhone, I press and hold, or you can press the little like arrow button, I guess, almost like a share copy button. I copy it, I go to Instagram, I make my story like I have here, this picture, and I tap on the text option, like if I'm going to type in a word, it's the big A, small a little option at the top. I tap on that and I press and hold, the paste option comes up and I paste it. So if you're wondering how to get a photo into your Instagram story, whether it's a picture or video Instagram story, all you have to do is have the photo saved on your camera roll, go and copy it, go make your story, tap on the text, and paste. So hopefully that was answered some people's questions. I get that question a lot. If you want to do some really cool templates, if you all are familiar with canva.com, it's totally free. They have tons of really cool templates. You don't have to get fancy with it. I never use templates, but if you want to showcase a beautiful listing you have, you might want to use a template and just make it look really pretty and visual. All you have to do is go to canva.com, and you can see up here I've typed in the word Instagram stories. It pulls up all these templates, and then you can come in here and change them to your heart's desire. So that's a really great way to make some really kind of pretty, more professional looking Instagram stories if you so choose. Also wanted to talk about settings. If you want to make sure you're open and you're talking to people, you want to make sure that you have your settings so that everybody can send you a message. Sometimes I have seen people that have accidentally changed a setting and I can no longer message them. And I have to say, hey, by the way, I think you might have turned off your message setting. If you don't want people to message you, then this is where you would turn it off. And you also, if you don't want people to allow to share photos or videos from your story, you can turn that off as well. I have all of mine on, but that's obviously a personal preference for you. Now you can also look at your insights, and I highly recommend you do this. A lot of people are shocked. They didn't even know you could look at all this stuff. You can see how many people viewed your story, and when you tap on, so right here, this little eye icon, 443, if you tap on that number, it'll show you all the names of the people that watched it, and then you can actually watch their stories directly from there or reply or talk to them. But it will also show you how many people sent a message, and then it will tell you how many impressions you got, navigation, how many people tap back, how many people tap forward, how many people left your story and went on to the next one. So if you like to look at data, swipe up on your stories and check out those insights, okay? Here's some pro tips for you. I'm gonna go ahead and throw them all up here because we are getting close to our time. Adding text, really important, because again, I'm tapping, tapping, tapping. I may not be listening to your video, but if you have some text on your story, my eye's gonna stop because it's probably gonna read it, and I might actually engage. So if you're doing a video about what Netflix show to watch this weekend, and I'm not listening to it, I have no idea what you're talking about. But if you put what show should I watch or something like that, then I might read it and I might actually engage back. So that is actually going to increase your engagement on stories. I always tell people, go and look who's watching. Go watch their stuff. You might even, if you have the bandwidth, send them a message. Hey, thanks for watching my story. Looking forward to watching yours, or whatever it might be. Send some direct messages. We talked about sharing IGTV videos and feed posts to your stories with a call to action as to why people should go watch it. A lot of people ask me, how many times should I post a day? There's no magic formula, okay? There's no magic formula. Whatever works for you is awesome. If you love it and that's your jam and you want to post 20 times a day, fine, great. People don't have to watch it. They can skip on, or they can come back later and pick up where they left off. But research reports have shown that about 3 to 7 times in a 24-hour period is what people's attention span will tolerate. But I don't want you to think of this as like black and white. There's no rules, okay? So don't be down on yourself if you're like, I didn't post 7 times today. I didn't post 4 times today. It's totally okay. I just want you to get in the habit of posting and posting daily. And also, it is a best practice to try to do it throughout the day, because it will help you sort of float up to the beginning a little bit more versus forgetting to do it all day and posting 4 times at 7 p.m. You can check your insights that I just showed you. The one that I have here, I say next story. A lot of people tell me, what should I be looking at my insights? And I say next story is probably the number one thing you should look at, because what that tells us is if somebody's watching yours and they click to go to the next story, they're leaving your story, but they're staying in Instagram and they have lost interest. They're now going on to somebody else's. Then maybe the content that you're posting isn't holding people's interest. So going back to kind of look through and say, should I change it up? Like what, that's probably the number one thing I would look at. If people exit the app, it means they just left Instagram, which maybe they got busy or whatever. So it's really more about them specifically leaving your story and going on to another one. We talked about using polls and question stickers, which are really important. We also talked about, not sharing content to your stories without a reason or context. And then, a really easy thing that I tell people is, is this going to be helpful? People love tips, whether it's life tips or business tips. Is it relatable? We're all on Zooms, we're homeschooling, we've got, all the things that are normal everyday life. Is it funny? People love funny, entertaining. So I don't want you to get caught up in thinking it has to be something really exciting and engaging. There is magic in the mundane. Stories are supposed to be human and relatable. Some of my most commented on stories have been boring stuff that I thought nobody would care about. And it's because they've either gone through it, or that's happening in their life, or in their, story of what they're going through. I also want to talk about this free tool. This is called Instagram Creator Studio. You can Google it. If you are an Instagram user, it will allow you to, for free, schedule your Instagram feed posts and schedule IGTV videos for free. The other thing that it does is it will give you all of your insights and analytics on a dashboard like this from your website, instead of just having to go through your phone. And it does have a section right here for stories. So at one glance, you can click on stories and it will show you all the analytics. So it's a little bit easier, I find, to look at it this way than through my phone. Just a quick outline of my 5 E's of content. This doesn't just relate to Instagram stories. You can put this anywhere on any platform. A lot of people ask me what kind of content to post. I feel that if it falls in one of these 5 E's, you're good to go. It's going to get engagement. Educational content, especially right now, so many questions around our market. Entertaining, that's for sure a great place. Our stories is great for entertaining content. People are attracted to your personality. Emotional, and I don't mean getting on live video and crying. I mean human, relatable content, right? Magic in the mundane. Homeschooling, things that we're all doing right now. Watching 18 hours of Netflix on Saturday, which is what I'll probably do, relatable. Engaging, ask a question, use a poll sticker, ask a question sticker, get people to engage with you. And exclusive, we like to feel like insiders. So this is my favorite part about stories. When I say exclusive, a lot of people immediately think, oh, it's got to be a big reveal and like a new listing or whatever it is. Exclusive means that not everybody gets to do it. Not everybody gets to go there. And you know what? All of the people watching my stories, 0 of them get to live with me. But it's exclusive behind the scenes footage that they get a peek into what I'm doing in my life. And that makes them feel like insiders. So that is really important. And I just want to leave you with the thought of, that human relatability. People come for the plot, but they stay for the character. Your stories is about you and your brand and your humanness. And right now, more than ever, we need to see that. So I would encourage you, if you have been a little bit nervous about getting on there and sharing, it doesn't have to be private. There's a difference between personal and private. Personal is the human part. Private is the part that's for you and whomever you else decide. An example, I could take a picture of the restaurant name that I went to 3 months ago, maybe. I could take a picture of that restaurant name and say, have you ever been here? That's personal and relatable because people watching may have been there and they can talk about it. But my conversation at the dinner table is not on my story. So that's what I mean by personal versus private. So I know that was fast and furious, a lot of information about stories. I wanted to make sure we stay on time, which I think we are 2 minutes before we have to go. So thank you so much for the opportunity to be, with us today and kind of learning how to elevate our game with stories and storytelling.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Chelsea. We've had a ton of feedback saying people feel this content is really relatable. It's something they can do now for that instant gratification. So they're planning to take advantage of it. There are a couple of questions that I want to get to since we have a minute or so. What about Android? You can do all of this stuff on Android as well, because I know a lot of your shots implied iPhone.
Yes. Yay. We can do it on any of the devices. Woohoo.
Somebody else, which account is better, business or creator Instagram account?
I love Creator right now because of the inbox. It has a separated inbox, but basically at this point in time, Creator is kind of like the best of personal and business mixed together. So if you're a personal, you should definitely at least be a business account, because they're going to give you a lot more bells and whistles that will help you get more leads and generate more exposure. I like Creator. It's not that different yet. One day maybe it will evolve, but there is one little thing about Creator. There's no real estate category. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but if it'll make you pick a category, and you'll probably have to pick like public figure or something like that.
Super tip. Finally, we've had a few people say, what's your podcast name again?
Oh, it's called The Voice of Social Sales. The Voice of Social Sales.
Great. And how often do you do that?
Usually about once a week. I'll have usually on Wednesday, I drop a new podcast. Sometimes I don't get one in every week, which is okay. Life happens, but yeah, once a week.
With your webinar schedule that you were telling us about, I'm actually quite impressed that you've been able to squeeze those in. So thank you very much. Great feedback so far. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you on the socials.
See you again soon, Chelsea. And we just want to wrap up this week for our Be Relentless webinar series. We have 4 left in this series, and then we're excited to kick off another 21 days starting next Friday. So on Monday, Gary Zalepo will be here talking about teams, and then we have a financial expert coming in to talk about 8 ways to improve your finances and to organize your finances in this time. So we will look forward to seeing you on Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.